Who introduced curry into India? It's a challenging question to answer definitively. If you ask any Indian, they'll likely say that curry has been a part of their tradition for a long time. However, when reminded that India as a nation was formed during the British colonial era and never existed before, they may struggle to explain further. Many might point to the Tamils, who have a millennia-old tradition of curry in the southern part of India. The British East India Company, initially a commercial entity, eventually became an aggressive land and territory grabber. The company's executives grew rich and corrupt, while the major shareholders, primarily politicians, often saw losses recorded and reduced dividends from their investments. The British Parliament eventually dissolved the company in 1857, and in the following year brought its territories under the British Crown, legally creating British India in 1858. Before the East India Company, the Indian subcontinent consisted of many kingdoms, queendoms, sultanates, and principalities that were fighting each other's, often assisted by European trading companies with their armed forces. These Europeans eventually seized the opportunity to take control of territories. While the British established British India, the French and Portuguese had their colonies on the same continent. Some mistakenly refer to these as French India and Portuguese India, but they were within the Indian subcontinent, not within India itself. After India gained independence from the UK in 1947, the French and Portuguese colonies also won independence and joined India in 1954 and 1961 respectively. From 1498 until 1961, the Portuguese held the longest colonial rule over Goa in the Indian subcontinent. Many British authors claim that it was the British who introduced curry to British India. Was this correct? Technically, yes. But the British didn't bring curry from the UK, as it wasn't part of their culinary tradition nor any other colonies except for British Ceylon. So where did the British get curry from within British India? The Tamil area, where the British East India Company had a trading post, is the answer. European trading companies had their posts along the curry zone or curry Mandalam. This zone existed before the British East India Company was formed in the 17th century. The term curry Mandalam was first used by an Italian explorer in 1510 to refer to the Tamil coastal areas involved in trade, and the Portuguese, the first Europeans in the region, used it in their maps. All the European traders, Portuguese, Dutch, Danish, and British, had their trading posts in the curry Mandalam. The Dutch, who dominated in the early 17th century, found it difficult to pronounce curry Mandalam and referred to it as Coromandel. During the British colonial era, many British ships, including HMS Coromandel, carried the name, and settlers travelling in these ships named areas in Australia and New Zealand after Coromandel. Even in Abingdon, near Oxford, England, there is a place with the same name. There is a Coromandel in Brazil, which was a Portuguese colony too. It is noteworthy that the original name is Curry Mandalam, or Curry Zone. In this Coromandel coastal area, the British East India Company had its HQ in Madras, now Chennai, the capital of Tamil Nadu. There were rivalries between European trading powers, and the company's factory in Bengal was attacked by a local ruler supported by the French. The company sent Robert Clive with 800 Europeans and 3,000 local Tamil soldiers to Bengal to re-establish the factory. The Battle of Plassey of 1757 was decisive and laid the foundation for British India, with the company's HQ moving to Calcutta, now Kolkata, and the company becoming the ruling authority of the area, with Robert Clive becoming the first Governor-General of Bengal. The army that went to Bengal was from the Tamil region, including Tamil Islamic chefs known for their non-veg specialties. As rulers of Bengal, the British popularized curry there. History shows that religion and culinary traditions follow rulers. As the British expanded their empire into Burma, Pakistan, and northern India, curry followed. By 1857, the company was running a parallel empire to the British Crown, with its chairman as an undeclared king of territories in the Indian subcontinent. Curry became widespread, and even Queen Victoria had a North Indian curry chef, Abdul Karim. So the curry of the Tamils was introduced to the rest of the subcontinent by the British, forming British India legally in 1858. British authors were technically correct, but they overlooked that it was Tamil curry that the British presented elegantly at dining tables all over British India, and because they were the ruling elite, it spread. Another overlooked aspect is British Ceylon, a crown colony from the outset, with its north and east regions being one of the two traditional Tamil habitats, the other being in South India. A thorough study of curry must include the Tamil regions of both India and Sri Lanka. Many Western authors limit their research to British India, missing important aspects of curry's history. This is where the confusion of curry's history begins. The Portuguese or the Dutch never colonized the Tamil habitat in the Indian subcontinent, but both did colonize the Tamil areas of Ceylon for 300 years before the arrival of the British. The Portuguese introduced chili and many vegetables to the Tamils in their colony in the north of Ceylon, resulting in a curry renaissance. Curry transformed from ancient black pepper-based curry paste to modern curry powder. Note that in the UK, the ancient concept of curry paste is still in use. During this time, in the 16th century, words like curry, poppadom, mulligatawny, congee and mango entered the English language via Portuguese, while it should be noted that the English East India Company was formed in the 17th century. So curry has a history even before the British arrived in the Coromandel area of the Tamils. In fact, the history of curry with the Tamils goes back at least 3 millennia with recorded evidence. Please like, share, and subscribe. Thanks for watching.